Hey guys, we're back, and in today's video we're making another organic silicone mold. Today's request comes from HorseyTube in the comments. He asks, a brain in a silicone mold, like if you agree. And with over 361 likes, it looks like this is the experiment we should be doing today. Now, I've actually been wanting to mold a brain for over a month, ever since I saw on VAT19 these gummy brains that they have. So I got in touch with the company and they sent me a couple of these that we could use for reference as we're making our mold here today. So big shout out to VAT19, thanks for sending these things to me. They are 4 pounds, 4,000 calories, and if you want to look at getting one for yourself, I'll put a link down in the description that'll take you right to them. It's like cherry. It smells really good. Now at first I was thinking it would be fun to cast one of these gummy brains in silicone and make our own gummy brain. But to go one step further, I got back in touch with the Biology Corporation and ordered a couple of cow brains so that the molds we make today are 100% legitimate brain. And I had to get them online because apparently cow brains are regulated by the FDA. So let's open this thing up and see what they look like. There we go. Okay, we're seeing this together for the first time. Apparently there's 2 cow brains in there, which is ridiculously small. I mean, this package of 2 cow brains right now is smaller than one of the VAT19 gummy brains by themselves. The difference is these are legitimate brains. So let's open the bag up and take a closer look. Yummy. Oh yeah, that's the stuff right there. So same process as last time. I'm gonna cut this bag open, we're gonna wash these brains off, and then we're gonna take a closer look, maybe do a little bit of surgery to get them prepped and ready for our silicone mold. So yeah, these brains are a little bit smaller than the VAT19, but they're a little more appropriate for serving sizes as well. So admittedly, I don't know much about how the brain works, so I did a quick Google search and this is what I learned. This outer layer covering the brain is probably part of the meninges, and this skin we're looking at is part of the pia layer. This acts as an envelope to protect the brain and the spinal cord. That almost sounds like I know what I'm talking about. How does the brain feel? It's a little bit spongy, it's firm. I feel like if I pushed it too hard though I could squish it. It almost feels like gummy. It actually feels a lot like gummy. It actually looks so delicate that if I just took my fingers and tugged at it a little bit, I think it would slip right off. Now this layer here, oh yeah. Now that's actually a lot tougher than I was expecting. I thought this would just slide right off, but it's actually like a really hard skin, and it rips. Okay, I'm gonna get my scalpel. My X-Acto knife scalpel. Oh wow, look in here, there's some kind of brown fuzz, brown fiber. That is really interesting. Now that's like going down in between the layers of brain now. And in the center here, it's kind of spiny. It's like really hard. Use what you got. Chunks of brain flying out everywhere. There we go. That's pretty tough there. That's like snipping a cable. Use my electrical dags for that. There we go. This is coming off a little bit easier now. Is this considered brain surgery if I don't put it back together? While we're here looking at this, let's just take a quick look at this brain. So I imagine what we have over here is the brain stem. Some kind of a, oh, you know what these things are? That's from the eyeballs. Oh, wow. Okay, so all this fatty stuff was where the eyeballs would have sat. So here's the cow's head, the brain, and the eyeballs facing forward, which would probably make these the frontal lobes. We'll have the temporal lobes, and then back here is the brain stem, which would lead to the spinal cord. That's not disgusting at all, is it? Before I get too far in here, it'd probably be better to chop off these eyeballs. That's one of the optical nerves that would lead to the eyeball. Yeah, actually look how thick that optical nerve is. I didn't realize that it was that big. Very interesting. And instead of seeing a bunch of electrical cables like you'd see inside a copper wire or something, it's just some kind of mush, some kind of matter. Very spongy, very cool. I feel like I should be wearing a face mask. Okay, so that's opening up, that's good. Oh yeah, this is actually encouraging. So looking down inside here, you can see between those 2 pieces of brain, and it's looking a little bit more encouraging. I'm not sure what that piece is. That looks interesting, but it looks like I can cut it away, and I'm actually interested in these 2 halves of the brain here. But now it's starting to look a little bit more like a brain here as we get this peeled away. Just gotta find a way to disconnect this last bit, and I think we're in business. Oh wow, this just slides right apart. That was easy. I thought that was going to be super tough and super thick to get through, but that was super easy. And there we have it. There's our first brain reveal. Oh no, there's even another layer here. So this must be the peel layer. And that pulls right away. And now we get all those little cracks and crevices that make the brain look like the brain. It's like saran wrap, sucked right down in there. But here's the difference. So this one has a very, very fine layer of membrane over it, which I think is the peel layer. And over here you can see we've removed that, and you can look right down at all those cracks and crevices and maybe even like gently separate them if you needed to. And this stuff is really soft and mushy. I'm worried about pushing it too hard because you can see it just turns right into mush. Okay, now we got this layer here that forms a nice little envelope all around the brain. I'm trying to gently remove this one because it looks to be in better tact than our first brain was. You know what I realized about this is if there ever was a zombie apocalypse, they're gonna have a hard time actually getting to your brain because those things are not easy. Ooh, look at this. We've actually preserved quite a bit of it. There we go. I think for best results, like the more of that skinny stuff we can get off, the better that this is gonna work because the silicone can seep down into those grooves a little bit better. It's kind of like after you get a sunburn and your skin starts peeling. You know what that reminds me of. And that's what this stuff looks like after it's been removed. I would not trust myself to do real brain surgery. It's too bad they did such a hack job when they sent me these things. I was hoping they'd be a little bit more plump and a little bit better condition, but that's what we've got, guys. 2 genuine cow brains, and the thing that strikes me is how small they are. I would have thought a brain would be quite a bit bigger than that, but that's what we're looking at, just a nice little fistful of cow brains. So kind of creepy, kind of disgusting, kind of educational. But in any case, I think this is about as good as we're gonna get them. So let's go find ourselves some plastic containers, mix up some silicone, and cast ourselves some new rubber molds. All right, so quick update, guys. So what actually happened when we poured the first silicone mold is our brain started floating up in the silicone and floated right to the top, and we can't have that. So we took the other brain, we held it in place with a screw from the bottom, and then we took all the silicone from the one container and poured it over the second brain. So now we've mixed up a second batch, we've secured the second brain, and we're pouring that as well. So who knew? Brains float in silicone. So if you try this yourself, make sure you secure it before you start pouring. So there you have it, guys. Once again, we made a terrible mess, and you pretty much know the routine by now. These things are gonna need 24 hours to cure. Now, I took a little of the excess silicone and poured it over top of the actual VAT-19 gummy brain as well, and I'm thinking that'll give us a skin that we could use to probably clone more of those gummies in the future as well, if we want to go with bigger brains. Now, I'm really curious to see how these molds out, because if they turn out okay, I'm thinking about taking green and purple gummy and making edible zombie brains. What do you think about that? Now, I've still got this other VAT-19 gummy brain that's still in its wrapper. I'm gonna give it to one of you, and I'm gonna give it away in my Instagram stories. So click the link in the description to follow me on Instagram and look for the secret clue coming in the next few days. And thanks again to HorseyTube for requesting this experiment in the comments. Keep an eye on your YouTube inbox. I'll be sending you 25 bucks. Hey, thanks for joining me for this video, guys. It was one we had to put our brains into. I'll be looking for you in the next video. Talk to you then. We're gonna make a zombie brain. That's it. We're gonna make a zombie brain.